All right, so what a victory the Cowboys finish out against the Chicago Bears 49-29. The Cowboys victorious. Now that the Giants lost, the Cowboys are reclaiming their spot in this division. We are second place, both the Giants and the Cowboys, both 6-2. And right now, the cream shall rise to the top, and it will be the Cowboys. First and foremost, Dak Prescott, let's give a round of applause to him. He was 21 for 27 for 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, right? That 1 interception kind of muddied the waters, but he still threw for 114 passer rating, which is nothing to sneeze at. And Tony Pollard had 14 attempts for 131 yards. We can look back at this and say, man, phenomenal, right? And I left out the fact that Dak Prescott had a rushing touchdown as well, so you can add that to the accolades of what Dak Prescott did against the Chicago Bears. If you want to see something as far as warts in this game, of course, they had drive extenders, especially on a I have to say this, man. The aficionados, man. I'm not finna point the fingers at the aficionados, but that was a bull sugar call against Chauncey Golston, saying that it was a roughing up of the quarterback, and then they were able to score off of that situation there. And the Cowboys, had the INT. They kind of took away the INT from Trayvon Diggs. We all know that was a change of fortunes with that, but that's okay. The Cowboys still was victorious in that game, even though they forced a fumble. The ball was out, and it was a scoop, and it wasn't necessarily a score, but one of our guys fell on it, and they said, it wasn't enough information to turn that ball over. But that's the story of another day. The Cowboys, I truly believe on the run part that they need to help out with that. They're going to have to get better down the line, but we got a long way to go, not a short way to go. Shout out to the Cowboys for being victorious against the Chicago Bears, the number 1 rush offense in the National Football League. There's not another team that's going to be dedicated like the Chicago Bears on that run, and they were dedicated. At the end of the day, the Cowboys were victorious 49-29, and this is the type of game that you need. CeeDee Lamb catching the touchdown pass in the middle of the field. Even Dalton Schultz with an unbelievable grab in the middle of the field. Dak Prescott hot. Even though they stepped on his other hand, they try to take the man out, he just had to shake it off, Cowboy Nation. So I look at everything. Look, we're not peaking yet. We're still got things that we have to improve on. Jerry Jones did say that he is getting phone calls. He's getting phone calls about trade options and things like that. Let's see what Jerry do, because we got until November the 1st, and one can argue, hey, we may be better when James Washington get back there, right? Who knows? But on the defensive side, shout out to Damone Clark for going out there with 7 total tackles, 2 solos. Hey, that ain't nothing to sneeze at on his first day out there, big 33. Shout out to him. Donovan Wilson, who we heard reports that he's okay. He just dealing with a few cramps. Had to go get some pickle juice and some IV for crying out loud, and he's okay. And shout out to LVE. I'm not going to leave him by himself. He forced a fumble. He was letting the world know, hey, I was a first-round draft pick too. As a linebacker, let me come to the party. And he knocked the ball out. My guy Parsons with the amazing scoop and score, just playing through the echoes of the whistle, not folding up like a wallet or a lawn chair to give the Cowboys that extra score. Shout out to him. This team, if we continue to do these small things, just the little things, everything will work its way out. Kelvin Joseph entered the game. Of course, he gave up a touchdown. One can argue when we go back and look at the all 22, we'll break that down like a fraction. But, I would tell you guys that we okay with this team, because we got to contextualize that we had a healthy stretch out of Tristan Hill, right? We had, if it was really down to it, I think Sam Williams could have played, but they made sure they gave him some rest. Malik Hooker, if it was really down to it, he could have played. They gave him some rest to it, and that's all on the defensive side. So I'm not worried at all. This defense will be just okay. We just got to clean up a few things. Shout out to my guy, Big Jonathan Hankins, he had 3 tackles, 3 solos. As a big boy down inside, man, phenomenal game for him. First time in the Cowboys uniform, he stood tall. So it's the small things, Cowboy Nation. We got a long way to go. No need to sit around and say, okay, this team can't do this and the team can't do that. When I look at everything, as long as we continue to get better one step at a time, everything else will work its way out. It will. And the Cowboys, 6-2 right now. Look, 9 more games to go. Let's go. Let's continue to find ways to shine, baby. That's been my time. Look, let's not worry about this nor that. The Cowboys second place in the division. All we got to do now is just continue to do our thing. Everything else will work its way out. And let me just add this to the table, too. The Cowboys, 4 sacks in this game. The Cowboys, that will put the Cowboys right at 33 sacks for the season. Amazing, unbelievable pressure. Now, granted, yes, we must improve on stopping the run. Nobody's perfect in October, right? Now, when you get down to November football, on the tail end of that, we can fix out some of those problems and some of those issues. But we're just now heating up, and I like what I'm seeing, Cowboy Nation. Look, I absolutely understand that we probably need one more guy that's on the offensive side and one more guy on the defensive side if you really want to comb through everything as far as what the Cowboys can do before the trade deadline. Post me your guy that you would like to see in the silver and blue, or we okay with what we got. You know, we like our guys. Y'all let me know. And overall, 49-29, that's not bad. Second place in this division so far. Let's continue. Let's go. Let's continue. Post me your thoughts. Post me your concerns down below. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. DC for life. Let's go. Let's get it. Oh, I left out Dayron Bland. Hey, Dayron Bland saved a touchdown in this game. Also, he was sticky. He came down and hit when it was necessary. I like what he exhibited and exude out there. The Cowboys got a promising guy out of Dayron Bland, who's not so bland, by the way. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's go. DC for life. All right, I'm going to be really going now. I forgot to just talk a little bit more about Tony Pollard, man. Oh, my goodness, man. 3 tubs. Look, let's not do this, Cowboy Nation. I would say that Tony Pollard was one of the stars of this game, right? Tony and then Dak Prescott, however you guys want to go with that order. But Cowboy Nation, please, let this not be a running back controversy now. Tony Pollard is good for what he did, and Malik Davis, he stood tall when his number was called. So shout out to those guys, and shout out to Hendershot and Ferguson, both of those young tight ends. Ooh, woo. So overall, collectively, man, I really like what this team is bringing to the table. But once again, shout out to Tony Pollard, man. When his number was called, oh my goodness, he stood tall. And that is a weapon and a half. So the Cowboys, if anything, they need to be figuring out how they're going to keep Tony Pollard down the line. But let's not make this a running back controversy. Ezekiel Elliott is the bell cow. I like what he brings to the table when he get back. But for right now, Tony, man, amazing game, man. 3 tubs, 3 of them. Shoot, that boy was phenomenal.